Hello everyone and welcome to round number 7 of the Flat Out Racing League Championship here on F1 2018, and I all hope you're having a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon wherever you are in the world. But to start off, we will get into the championship standings. In first place we have Sam on 238 points, North is second on 214 points, Max is third on 206 points, Anil is in fourth on 190 points, Bulls is in fifth on 189 points, Fuller is on 186 points, Tambo is on 176 points, Cully is in eighth on 174 points, Crow is on 173 points, in 10th is Dino on 164 points, Deadly is in 11th on 126 points, 12th is TT on 118 points, 13th is Stoke on 108 points, 14th is Going on 106 points, Demon is in 15th on 89 points, Neon is 16th in 8 on 81 points, Den is 17th on 54 points, Takis is on 34 points in 18th, 19th is Jacuzzi on 18 points. And that is our championship standings after 7 races here, and I'm very much looking forward to this race today. The Sakir International Circuit always produces good racing, as we've seen. Well, Monday morning for me in the Grand Prix, it was a spectacular race. Oh, was Bullet Boy has a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Deng Artist. Interesting. You didn't see that on screen, but that's certainly not what you want for Bullet Boy. Well, if you are Bullet Boy. Of course, he is in a strong position in the championship. He's in 5th place. Oh, as Deng Artist has then gone careening into the wall, just at the end of the second sector. Wow, remarkable. So we're on board now with Anel Tanovic heading down into turn 4. Late on the brakes as you need to be through that corner. So we have some more yellow flags in sector 3. Not entirely sure what is going on circuit. Now through turn 8 is Anel. Rear end twitching about, very difficult corner to get the power down. Now through 9 and into 10, the most difficult braking zone on the circuit. So easy to get wrong, as he now propels himself down the second DRS straight into turn 11. Also a very difficult corner as well. It's very easy to go wide here. Now coming through the second sector split, taking a very nice line through that particular corner as he now heads down to the penultimate corner. As we have our first laps by North on a 1:29.0, but Jacuzzi's gone on provisional pole at this early stage on a 128.7, and Anel sets a 130.3 as Crowman goes fastest with a 128.2. Let's watch out for any other laps as they come towards the line. We've got Matty here coming towards the line now. What time will he set in these early stages of qualifying? He's going to go on provisional pole, a 126.6, and that is more like it of the times that we're going to be expecting to see for pole position today. As Going just settles in on a 28.8 in 4th place. As we now have the TARDIS coming through the penultimate corner. So through the last corner. Let's see where this lap time will put him. Never mind, he's just on an out lap. He might have had his lap time invalidated, as we've got Dino. Oh, so we had someone going off circuit, and that was Bullet Boy through turn 10. But just as I was about to say, Dino has moved himself up into P2 on a 127.6. Let's just see whereabouts everyone is on track. So we have Aneltanovic coming through the last corner once again. Let's see if he can improve on his 130.3. I think he might be able to improve, but I've just noticed he's on the medium tyre, so he's going to come into the pit lane. So we have some yellow flags out on circuit. Don't know what for yet, but maybe it was a bit of a false alarm. But you see a lot of people on the medium tyre at the in these early stages of qualifying, maybe just to get their eye in. But Matty is certainly not on the medium tyre when he did his lap. And Bullet Boy has now been disqualified for going the wrong way. Oh dear. I can only assume that he's had a little spin there, and just whilst waiting and trying to get out the way of the other cars, he's been disqualified. Well, there you go. So we've got the TARDIS here through turn 8. Now into 9 and into 10. As you can see, turn 10 is very, very difficult. So easy to go deep and wide onto that curve, which certainly loses you quite an amount of time. And Jacko goes into P6 on a 128.9 on those medium compound of tyre. As now Dang goes into second on a 27 point flat, as we have some yellow flags somewhere. In sector 3, all in the TARDIS, who we were just watching, has spun it on one of the curbs up on the run up the hill down towards the second sector split, and that has ruined his lap, and I expect to see him to come back into the pit lane. Indeed he does. We currently have our provisional pole sitter, Matty, going through turn 10 there on the 126.6, but I assume that will be under threat, as most people have just done laps on the medium compound of tyre and have not gone to the super soft compound tyre just quite yet. Indeed, as you can see there, most people have only done laps on the medium tyre. But one person who is going to try and improve on the super soft tyre again is Matty, as he heads now up the hill towards turn 4. Of course, where we've seen plenty of action in the Grand Prix on Sunday. Lovely through the first sector there is Matty. Gets a little bit beached on the curb though. I think that will cost him some time. But let's see if there's anyone else on a quick lap towards the end of the lap. And some yellow flags in sector 3. I think that might just be for Anil letting cars through. But Matty Shaw now on the run up towards the second sector split. Difficult corner, just need to carry as much speed. Even though he did go a little bit deep, he carried a good amount of speed there through the corner. And now into the final corner. Will he get it right as North propels himself up into third on a 127.5, but Matty abandons the lap and heads back into pit lane. Some yellow flags in sector 1. I can only assume that that was for the car that we just seen letting someone through. I can't remember who exactly it was, but I think this might be a lap in anger by Anil Tanovic. Currently in 16th position on a 130.3 as we've got some more yellow flags in sector 3. Clips the apex, lovely there does Anil Tanovic. All over the outside curb, but nothing illegal there, that is for sure. As he comes through the final corner now, clips the inside curb perfectly, and now on the run down towards the line. What time will he set? It's going to be a 120.6, that which moves him up into 8th place, but he still has that super soft tyre to run to improve. Building up his session there nicely is Anil Tanovic. But just before some of the final runs start, I should say we have Matty Shaw in first position, Deng in second, third is North, Dino is fourth, Going is fifth, Full Air is sixth, or as Going just goes into P6 actually, Full Air is seventh, Crowman is 8th, the TARDIS is 9th, Anil Tanovic is in 10th, Jacuzzi is in 11th, Stoke Jacko is in 12th, Tambo is in 13th, Jason is in 14th, Damon is in 15th, Max is in 16th, Sam is in 17th, and Bullet Boy has been disqualified in the session. And that is the order before with just about 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. As we have Bullet in the chat saying, I didn't want to start, I didn't want to cause a crash at the start, so I wanted to start at the back, mate. No TC and ABS is horrible here. Well, that's kind of you to just to say, alright, I'll start at the back. But we have Crowman, who's moved himself up into second place on a 127.0, not quite flat. We have Cully heading towards the line. What time is he going to set? It's going to move himself up into P5 on a 127.5. Didn't improve by a massive amount there, but an improvement nonetheless. So we have Full Air preparing for a lap just by looking at his ERS. And indeed, Full Air is on the beginning of a lap as well. Watch him down into turn 1 here. The car on the right getting out of the way very nicely indeed. Very good rotation of the car through turn 1 as he now heads down the straight into turn 4. It just feels like with that corner he can brake as late as he possibly can and still hit the corner and the apex very nicely. Now through the fast left and right chicanes. Now into turn 8, difficult braking zone, very easy to just go slightly wide and you can somehow end up all over that curb. Now in turn 9 into turn 10, the most difficult braking zone on the circuit, as I did say. Important to get a good exit, as Cully's AI car is in the way there, but thankfully it was in the straight. But now into difficult turn 11, as you can see there, he's run wide as Going has retired from the session. And now through the second sector split, not entirely sure what time he is set through the second sector split, but now heading down into the final corner. What time is Full Air going to set as he hits that curve nicely, doesn't make a mistake, as he now heads towards line, opens up the DRS. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:27.0, which moves him up into third place behind Crowman and Matty. But we have some cars now just starting to head out of the pit lane for their final lap of this qualifying session. So we have Crowman retiring from the session as well. Some yellow flags in sector 1, and who was that off to the side of the track? I think it was a retiree. But Jason, I don't know if he's on a hot lap, because if you look at his ERS little blue bar there, doesn't look like he quite has the electrical energy to be going up for a lap. And nor would I think he would at the end of this lap, so I'm not sure if Jason will actually improve there whatsoever. And we have several drivers on outlaps now, as we have the sound glitch with the TARDIS, which is always lovely. Who doesn't love a bit of screaming gearbox? I know I certainly don't love it. As Deng heads down into turn 1, misses the apex slightly but still carries the speed through the corner. Everything looking pretty solid here for Deng at the beginning of this lap, heading into turn 4 now. Clipping that apex now, taking a bit of a different line to most people were saying, taking a bit more of a tighter line. But the TARDIS has retired from the session, and I've got a feeling that that was not intentional. We now head into the final 10 seconds of qualifying. So we've got Sam out on circuit for the first time, but we have Matty coming through the final corner on the run up towards the line. What time is he going to set? Is he going to improve? He's gone on the grass and still improved. It's a 1:26.5 for Matty here, and that currently puts him on pole position by half a second as Dino goes into 5th, and now we have Deng, who's currently in P4 on the run down to the final corner. And now coming out of the final corner, what time is Deng gonna set? Will he get pole? No, he moves him up into second place. 11 thousandths behind Matty in pole. And that does look like that could be it for the pole battle. It looks like it is just Matty's at the moment by 11 thousandths of a second. Let's see if North can do anything about it, but I don't think he's going particularly quick. Indeed, he wasn't. But that was certainly quite entertaining, if I can speak properly, that would be great. But a very entertaining session here for sure, as we have a very mixed bunch of what people are starting the race on. But it's Matty who takes pole on the super soft tyre, 11 thousandths ahead of Deng, who is in second. Crewman is in third. Fuller is in 4th, Dino is in 5th, Northants is in 6th, Kelly is in 7th, Sam is in 8th on the soft tyre, and indeed that is an incredible lap by Crowman on the soft tyre there in 3rd place. Going is in 9th, the TARDIS is in 10th, Tambo is in 11th, Max is in 12th, Anel is in 13th, Jacuzzi is in 14th, Demon is in 15th, and I just didn't quite get through the rest of it. And hello to Danny, who is in the chat. That is Kai F1. I'm doing well, mate. How are you doing? I mean, I've only been up for about 40 minutes now, but yeah, the day's been alright. And nothing's really gone on, so yeah. As we're now just waiting for the drivers to load in to start the race. Well, start the formation lap at... Oh, and hello to Galactic Skull in the chat. Indeed, I am a busy boy nowadays, commentating 3 times a week, and especially with EU going into daylight savings and now Australia coming out of daylight savings at the end of the week. I have to commentate 2 hours earlier than what the original times were, so commentating at 5:30 and 6:45 will be fun. As we are underway on the formation lap, here in Bahrain, as we have clear weather, as the race had dry weather, it was Deng and Crowman have been disqualified from the session already. That's not what you want. You ought to have your tyres nice and warmed up. And Deng and Crowman will not be having that. But with drivers on different strategies, it's going to certainly be very interesting to see how this race pans out, as we have Crowman, of course, on the soft tyre in 3rd place, Cully, Sam in 7th and 8th on the soft tyre, going in 9th on the medium. Don't know how he's quite managed that. That's a brilliant result to do that. And then we have TARDIS on the super soft, and outside the top 10 we have Tambo on the soft, Max on the medium, Anil on the medium, Jacuzzi on the soft, as we have a Force India going extremely wide there. Yep, and then Demon, Stoke, Jason all on the medium, and then Bullet Boy in 18th on the soft compound of tyre. As we now have Matty taking his position on the grid in pole position for this Grand Prix. And as we have now the final drivers just making their way towards the grid. And indeed, we're just waiting for that Williams to get in his box to signal the start of the Grand Prix. And now we are 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go eventually, as it looks like Matty has got a pretty decent start, but also a strong start there by the Williams on the inside line. But it looks like Matty will hold on to first place into turn 1, but behind we have Full Air, who's had a fantastic start and is up into P3 and is now challenging Dino into turn 4. But looks like we might have some chaos here into turn 4, as there are cars absolutely everywhere, and Anel has found himself up into P7. A fantastic start there by the Bosnian driver. So he has the inside line there on the Haas, but the Haas goes clean around the outside of him. Nice move there by Sam. So we have Cully and Northants nearly side by side, and indeed side by side through turn 9. And attempting to go side by side through turn 10, but that's not going to work. And Cully comes out on top of that battle for the time being. But trying to make a move down the inside potentially of Tambo into turn 11. Not quite close enough, but Tambo does run wide. And that should allow Going to get the run up the hill and move up into 12th place. Indeed it does. But you heard him struggling a little bit there, having to lift off through the corner. But we have Crowman down the inside of the Haas. And there was a little bit of contact there. I think it was the Haas. And now he's moved himself up into P5 as we have the TARDIS and Cully coming into the pit lane along with Tambo. Not sure why we're just seeing the ground there, but Anel Tanovic, who started, where did he start? He certainly started outside of the top 10, but now he is under pressure from Sam in the Haas. But he will manage to hold on to that position for another few corners at the bare minimum, as Dang is putting the pressure on Dino into turn 8. There you go, Anel started 14th. So a fantastic start there on the medium compounded tyre there, but that is not fantastic as he runs wide and deep into turn 10, and that has gifted Sam 6th place. But Anel certainly still doing a very good job, as he is the leader of the medium compound runners. He has a couple of soft compound runners in front of him, one of them being Sam, who did just move. Oh no, and he's crashed out. I didn't quite see that, although he just was in front of Anel, so I'll just have a cheeky little look back, as we have Bullet Boy retiring as well. Oh, Sam just hit the inside curb there and went spinning off into the wall, and you can't afford to be doing that, as we have Deng moving past Dino into P3 at the moment, and we have Going coming into the pit lane. I'm not entirely sure what for. It's certainly been an exciting start to this race, and with the mixed strategy that everyone has on, as Sam has left the session now after his retirement. Disappointing. You can't afford to be clipping the inside curve through that fast, through the fast right-hander, and that's exactly what he done, and he has spun out of the race. So we have Crowman now starting to apply some pressure to Dino for that 4th place. Of course, he is on the soft compound of tyre. Running a bit wide on the exit there was Crowman, but he is now fairly close to Dino, and with the help of DRS and with whatever ERS mode he wants to use, he should be able to fly past there, past Dino, and up into P4. All as we have Northants down the inside of Anel Tanovic there for P6, and that really should be a no contest, as Northants is on the super soft compounded tyre, but Anel still trying to look to make the move there, trying to force North into a mistake, but he's not made a mistake, and he has moved himself up into P6. Now Anel just has to run his own race here, as he is the first of the medium runners on track. 2 and a bit seconds over Max behind him, who is the second medium runner, and those two have certainly set themselves up for a good race. Of course, we have Teeman and Jacko behind on the medium as well, but they are just not quite as close, as we now have Deng closing up to full air through the middle part of the lap. It looks like he could be moving himself up into second place, and he is closing down into the final corner. He's all over the back of Full Air here, and with the power of the ERS, which he has barely used, and DRS, he should absolutely fly past Full Air, and indeed he does, up into second place, as they are now indeed actually starting to close in on Matty in the lead. The gap is just about a second. So we have some early pitters. We have North now coming into the pits, which has promoted Demon and Jacko up into 8th and 9th, along with Anel Tanovic up into 6th place. But what's going on with Matty here? He's really starting to struggle, as now Deng is only half a second behind. We've seen Matty have about a second and a half lead the last time that I actually paid attention to the gap. Now heading down the back straight into turn 11. Could Matty just be struggling with some tyre wear issues? Or is he's running over that outside curb? Don't want to be running over the curbs at all on the outside or the inside, in fact. But Deng is now all over the back of Matty as they're about to head through the final corner, and now on the run down to the final straight, the main straight. But indeed Matty does pit, so it looks like he was struggling with some bad tyre wear. And now Crowman is up into second place, as we have also Full Air pitting. What tyres is he going to go onto? He's going to go onto the soft compounded tyre, and that is exactly what Matty does as well. But now Anel Tanovic up into 4th place on that medium tyre, in a very good position currently in this race. So we now have Crowman behind Deng in second position, and we should see in the coming laps, and maybe even throughout this lap, these soft tyres starting to come to its own on the super soft compound of tyre. But we have Jacuzzi on the soft compound tyre now starting to put a tiny bit of pressure on the Ferrari as Stoke Jacko in front of him. Losing the rear end on the exit of the turn 10 certainly isn't going to help Jacuzzi. So we have Stoke actually in front, getting very close to Demon there. Having to be very cautious through there, as we have Deng pitting from the lead of the race. Of course, he was very close with Matty, who's currently in the actual what's the word? Well, he's in the actual race lead, so it'll be interesting to see where Deng comes out. As here comes Matty, and it looks like Deng has done it. He has jumped Matty by a whole 2.5 seconds there, and he is currently take the effective lead of the Grand Prix. Of course, as everyone else in front of him has not pitted, so a fantastic overcut there by Deng. I'm not sure if Matty got held up in traffic, but if he did or not, Deng has taken full advantage of that and has moved himself up into the effective race lead, as he now is closing up on Jacko in 6th place. But now Adel Tanovic on those medium compound tyres is starting to close up on Dino in second, who is on the super soft tyre. I think that Dino might be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. No, not quite. He's staying out for another lap. And now Anel in the slipstream, heading down towards turn one. Is he going to be quite close enough to make a move into turn one? Oh, he thought about it. He did the little Alonso fake down the inside, but he did not commit to the move. But now on the run up to turn 4, he's just got such better traction, does Anel Tanovic, as he's now going to try and look to go around the outside of Dino to take this second place. He has the outside for these S-bends, and Dino manages to hold on just about to P2. So we have Stoke, Jacko and Demon close together, as we've seen throughout this race, both on the medium tyre, as Dang has managed to get himself past on that previous lap. Now we have Matty behind, but Anel has managed to make a move there on Dino up the inside of turn 11. A fantastic move there. Oh, but Dino getting a little bit too close to the rear end of Anel through those bunch of corners, as Anel now moves up into second place. But Matty, now behind Jacko, is getting frustrated. I thought he might have went for a move there, but looking for a little bit of a switchback to get a better run than Jacko down into the final corner, and he's got the inside line. It should be a done deal, and indeed it looks like it for Matty, who moves himself up into 7th place and now has his eyes set on Demon to move up into 6th place here, and with the DRS and pretty much draining his entire battery, moves himself up into 6th place. But if Demon stays close enough here, but indeed he hasn't, the soft compound tyre just has a lot more grip compared to the medium. And Matty's moved himself up into 6th place, but nearly 3 seconds actually down the road is Dang, who is our effective race leader, as Max, Dino, Anel and Crowman have not quite pitted yet, but Crowman running a very strong race, who of course qualified 3rd on these soft compound tyres, currently leading by nearly 10 seconds over Anel Tanovic. So that soft tyre is certainly looking like a very strong race tyre indeed. So we have Fuller now gonna go try make the move down the inside of Jacko, and he does get that move done, moves himself up into 8th place, and now next he will set his sights on Demon, who of course is on 8-lap old medium tyres, as now we have Dino into the pits, as Dang sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:30.7. But Fuller isn't going to be quite close enough, as we've got some yellow flags in the middle part of the lap. Let's see what's going on. It looks like it's been the TARDIS who's going slowly. Not entirely sure what's happened there. But Fuller not able to get past Demon yet, as they now head into the 2nd sector. Fuller with just so much grip, you can see that he's not quite pushing through these corners. Oh, and he gets a very, very good exit there compared to Demon. And he's now going to try go around the outside into turn 9 and 10. And he has done so. And that moves Fuller up into 6th place, as the Ferrari and the Sauber on the medium tyre have been quite a nuisance to those who have already made their first pit stop. That's not for them to be concerned about. They've got to run their own race, and they have done so, and then they're in a very solid P7 and 8 at the moment. As things have quietened down a little bit the field is starting to spread out, which is just natural to happen in this race. But we have the Mercedes of Jacuzzi in the pit lane, and that will move Dino, who's gone on the medium tyres. We have some more yellow flags in the middle sector momentarily, but I don't think anything has actually happened there. So we have Dang now starting to close up to Max for third place into turn 10. Max goes a little bit wide there, and that should allow Dang, with the superior traction and the superior tyre grip at the moment, to quite easily move himself up into third place. As finally, for the first time I think in this race, we see Jacko ahead for the two medium compound runners that are Demon and Jacko. But we have Max, who has DRS on Deng, but never mind, it is going to be way too far back, and I think it's better if we look at this battle for 7th place between Jacko and Demon, as now Demon has the DRS and the slipstream of Jacko. Jacko doesn't defend the inside line, and Demon just takes the inside line, although Jacko's putting up a valiant effort there around the outside in the Ferrari, as they're now going to be side by side for the rundown into turn 4. The Ferrari is going to have the outside line here. Or has he just about got it done? Indeed he has. Jacko has got the move done there and has moved up into 7th place, but down into turn 8 the Sauber sends it down the inside. There's a little bit of wheel bagging there between the two, and he's moved himself back up into 7th place. Oh, and the Ferrari looking to go down the inside of turn 9 and potentially into turn 10, putting your front wing where you don't want it, where it doesn't belong. But no contact between the two. And now up the inside of turn 11 is the Ferrari going to look for the move. Cuts the corner, trying to make sure that he doesn't make contact with Demon. Fair enough, I say there. Kind of doing some useless battling here, just wasting time and costing yourselves time, as we now have Crowman coming out of the pit lane on those medium compound tyres. Let's see where he is in relation to our current effective race leader, Dang. Crowman is going to come out in 5th place behind his teammate Matty. But Crowman will now be running to the end of the Grand Prix, and he is in a very strong position, as Anel Tanovic has now taken the race lead. He's ahead of Deng by about 7 seconds. And of course, if he can stay in this position before he pits, he'll be in with a very strong chance in this Grand Prix, as of course Deng, as everyone has to pit again except for Crowman. But Deng is certainly closing now. Oh, and has Matty made a mistake somewhere? I think he has, because he's ended up behind Max once again. Oh no, never mind, that was Deng, as we have Matty now closing up to the back of the McLaren and Max. My apologies there, I just got confused there. But heading down to the final corner, Matty on those 7-lap-old soft tyres, a lot fresher than those medium tyres that Max has on. Now with the DRS open and using as much energy and electrical power as he possibly can on the run down into turn 1. Will he be able to quite make the move stick? It looks like it. Max tried to go around the outside there, but just doesn't have the grip at this stage of the race on these tyres to get the move done, as North moves himself up past Demon. Oh, and the Mercedes are come from a long way back. Oh, North spun around. North's made a mistake there, and he's just as he got past Demon and Jacko, he spun around, and that is Gifted going on, who is on 11 lap old soft compound tyres. That has moved him up into 7th place. But we've seen North lose it as he had just made the move there. Coming out of turn 1, heading into turn 2, he just lost the rear end. And he's now behind his teammate in 11th place. As once again we have Jacko and Demon, who have been inseparable in the race. But we're just going to quickly check what is going on at the moment. As we can see there, Altanovic and Max have not pitted, along with Demon and Stoke Jacko, whereas everyone else has made one stop already. So we'll be seeing these guys who haven't pitted yet, one stopping. But we have Max now past Matty again into turn 1. But Matty, just with the extra grip, able to out traction Max, then move himself back up into 3rd place. But this is just costing Matty time here. That is for sure. But as you can see, the big winners so far in this race are Max and Altanovic, but of course they have not pitted yet. Who are both on those medium tyres. But Deng has just got the gap under 5 seconds to Altanovic. And he'll be looking to close that gap as much as possible to Altanovic before Anel pits to put on the soft compounded tyre, which should be in the next couple of laps. Unless he goes on to the super soft compound, which of course he could do, but I think it would be a bit wiser to go on the soft compound tyre. It's a bit of race tyre at this circuit. As we have these two of Demon and Jacko close to each other once more. But it looks like now Crowman has moved himself past Max down the main straight, and of course Max was only challenging Matty into this braking zone on the previous lap. That's a pretty easy move for Crowman, and he moves himself up into P4, and he's in a very strong position because he does not have to pit again, and he's only 10 seconds off the two-stopper of Deng. Sorry, 11 seconds, I should be saying. Oh, was Matty up in front, makes a mistake. And that's going to allow Crowman to close right in behind Matty. The two teammates here in the Red Bull into turn 10. Very cautious, not wanting to make a mistake there. But we have some yellow flags. Oh, it's Dino, and it looks like Cully have made some contact there into turn 4, as we've seen them very wide off the track in turn 4. But both seems to be like a lot of drivers doing some tyre saving up through that uphill right-hander. Crowman. Oh, is Matty going to come into the pits? He is indeed, telling his teammate that I'm going to be pitting. And let's see what tyre that Matty goes on to, as now that moves Crowman up into 3rd place in a strong position in this Grand Prix. As Max also pits, we have Matty going on to a pair of the soft compound tyre going to the end of the race, as we also have Max. There is a flurry of action in the pit lane. We also have Full Air, UK Demon going in the pit lane. Lots of action here as now the two stoppers are all pitting to put on some soft compound tyres. As we finally had UK Demon making his first pit stop of the race. And we still have Jacko to do so, as well as and Altanovic, who are on 16 lap old medium compound tyre. As I think Anel's now really starting to struggle, as Deng has closed up significantly on this lap, and I expect Anel Tanovic to be coming into the pit lane. Let's see if he does through the final corner. No, he's going to continue on for another lap. Is Anel Tanovic, who knows, he could be heading on to the super soft tyre here at the end of the race. But now Deng nearly within a second of Anel Tanovic here, and probably by the end of the braking zone he will be. Yep, out of the traction zone, turn 1, Deng is now 0.8 of a second behind Anel Tanovic for the lead of this race. Both drivers have been fantastic today. Deng has shown some fantastic pace on the two-stopper, and Anel has been really quick on the one-stop, as we have North and also Stoke coming into the pits now. As we have Crowman, who's in a very strong position here. I didn't realise just how good of a position he is in here. He is in 3rd place, and of course he does not need to pit again. So when Deng and Anel pit, as Deng was looking to make a move potentially into turn 11 there, once Anel and Deng pit, they're going to have to catch up quite a significant amount of time to Crowman, and then still overtake and pass him for the lead of the race. But Deng is going to try and make a move down here on Anel Tanovic in the final corner. He absolutely sails past Anel Tanovic there through the final corner. And is Anel going to pit? No, we see Deng go into the pit, so indeed it looks like Anel is going to then go on to the super soft compound tyre, as now Crowman is into 2nd place, but Deng going on to the soft compound tyre here, and he should be coming out in 3rd place here, comfortably ahead of Matty, who of course took pole. But Deng has certainly had the superior race pace, as he comes out quite comfortably there ahead of Matty in 3rd place, and now he has 17 seconds to catch up to Crowman. And that is going to be some feat, as Crowman is only on 6 lap older tyres. Of course, a compound harder, but catching up that amount of time is certainly going to be difficult to do. But now surely, as we just pick up Anel Tanovic coming through now the penultimate corner, and surely once he heads through the final corner, he pits to put on a fresh set of boots. Is he going to come into the pits? And indeed he is. Does Anel Tanovic. Doesn't speed into the pit lane. Good boy, something I've been very guilty of in some league racing that I've done. But now Crowman takes the lead of the race ahead of Anel, and Deng and Anel are going to have to put on a special show to claim 1st place here. But we have Anel Tanovic, who's going to be absolutely rapid, pitting and putting on the super soft compounded tyre. But Anel Tanovic didn't lose actually too much time to Deng on that outlap. As you can see, he's not too far behind, and on those super soft compound tyres, he's going to be looking to fly past Deng as early as he possibly can, and then go and challenge Crowman for that 1st place. So we have full air now behind Max going into turn 4, just too far behind to make a move there. Is full air on Max. As we have Dino here on 10 lap old mediums. He's going to probably be going to the end if he can, being passed by going And I assume Dino is going to come under pressure in the coming laps from those guys on soft tyres behind him. Oh, as we have Max now behind Full Air. Full Air's managed to make the move somewhere on track. Didn't quite see that happen, unfortunately, but now Full Air has moved himself up into 5th place ahead of Max. But this battle is not over as Full Air making sure that Max does not get the slipstream. Goes all the way to the right hand side of the track. But now in the battle for 2nd and for 1st indeed, the gap is now 16.5 seconds to Crowman, as Anel was closing in on Dang, but made a mistake there through turn 1 and 2. Has cost himself some time, but he should close up through the rest of the lap on those super soft compound of tyre. Much faster than the soft compound tyre, but we have Max down the inside of Full Air into turn 4. I think we're going to see a lot of battling between these guys in the remaining laps of the race. Oh, and Full Air just getting a little bit too close to Max there. And in doing so, lighting up those rear tyres. And nearly losing the car, but he's still within a second of Max, is Full Air. And he'll be looking to close back up to Max for that P5 battle. But Anel Tanovic now closing up to Deng here for this 2nd place. And now heading down the main straight. It should be quite a comfortable overtake here for Anel with the slipstream DRS and that overtaking power in the ERS mode down the inside of the Renault. But the Renault holds around the outside there. Valiant effort, but it looks like just the extra grip that the super soft runner of Anel Tanovic has just been enough. Or was actually side by side here through turn 4. The Renault to try to go around the outside, but Anel holds him off into P2. There is the Bosnian driver. But Deng's certainly looking to put up a fight here. But it's going to be a tall order here for Anel to catch Crowman. He's going to have to close 15.5 seconds in the remaining laps of the race. As I see a few of you guys in chat who are fellow league racers with Anel cheering him on in the chat here, and he's certainly going to need every little bit of support and energy to keep ahead of Deng here, who's doing a fantastic job at doing that actually, and to potentially catch Crowman. But Deng, I've got a feeling he's going to try and spoil Anel's party, but Anel does get a good exit. But Deng is still certainly close enough, who opens up the DRS and is using all of his energy down the main straight. He's going to go for the inside line here, and Anel Tanovic doesn't have anything to answer with, and that moves Deng up into 2nd place. But now Anel has the slipstream on the run down to turn 4, but doesn't look like he quite has the ERS battery power that Deng has. And indeed, as you can see, Deng has nearly half of his ERS there, as where Anel probably has about 10% of it, and that is costing him at this stage of the race. But I think now Anel just needs to try save his ERS and try to get past Deng, because I don't think these guys are going to catch Crowman for the lead of this race unless his medium tyres fall off the cliff, which I don't quite see happening, as it's not like they're going to be 25 laps old by the end of it. They are going to be about 16 laps old, and that should be fine. But we have the Mercedes here of going in the slipstream, and Max is going to try to go down the inside of Max into turn 11, and he's got that move done, as we've seen Max now just fall down the grid as of recent. But we have North and Dino, the two Force Indias battling. Oh, and I've missed Anel Tanovic going back up into P3 down the main straight, but Deng sends it down the inside there on Anel, but Anel has the outside line and has managed to maintain P2 here, but Deng has got a fantastic run on the run down to turn 4. He's got the outside line, he's just got to try and outbrake and use that overspeed on Anel, but not quite. Anel has managed to hold on to P2 there, but North, it looks like, has moved himself up into P7 ahead of Dino. Yes, indeed, he just about holds on. Does North. And that's North up into P7 ahead of his teammate on 14 lap old medium compound tyres. But Anel's starting to pull away here from Deng, which is what he needs to do. He needs to get that second gap. But even though he is on the one step harder compound of tyre, Deng is just looks so much more confident into the braking zones compared to Anel. As indeed the gap is about 0.7 of a second here as we head down into the final corner. Is Deng going to be close enough to challenge Anel, or is Anel just about built enough of a gap? But Deng, he has a lot more battery power to use and to play with than Anel down into turn 1, but it looks like he's just going to be too far away. Oh, never mind, he's absolutely sent it down the inside. But Anel leaves the racing room and maintains P2 for the time being. But Deng, now on the run down to turn 4, he's going to try and go around the outside of Anel Tanovic here. It looks like he might just have made the move on Anel Tanovic, but Anel has the inside line. But no, Deng has managed to squeeze himself ahead there before turn 5 and has moved himself up into second place once again. And this constant squabbling between the two drivers is certainly going to mean that Crowman should... I don't think that Crowman will be caught by these two. So Crowman will be smiling and being very happy that these two are battling. But Anel, I think, needs to just sit behind Deng for a couple of laps here. Save the tyres and save the RS power. And then try to make the move on Deng, because that is where the battle lies between these two drivers to the end of this race. But Anel now is certainly within striking distance here of Deng down the main straight. He needs to, even though whilst trying to overtake Deng, try and save some ERS, but he now absolutely flies past Deng. But Deng immediately into the slipstream, and Anel is going to be immediately on the defensive as Deng is trying to go around the outside, but Anel has managed to take second place. But Deng, once again, with a fantastic exit out of turn 2 and 3, heading down to turn 4, he's got to go for the inside line, is he? No, with too much marble on the tyres, he is going to stay in third place for the time being. And Anel Tanovic will be breathing a sigh of relief. But Deng is looking very strong here on these soft compound tyres compared to Anel. Maybe Anel's super soft tyres are just starting to lose a little bit of performance. It's going to be some sort of mighty effort here to hold off Deng, who was looking super quick here, and who has just managed his ERS better in this race. He still has about half of it left, whereas Anel, you can see there, probably has about 15% of it left. He's managed to conserve his ERS fantastically as he's managing to just stay with Anel now. And as we're heading down towards the final corner, is he going to try and make a move before the final corner? No, he thinks about it. Oh, and then he decides to try and stick his nose in there where it doesn't belong. There certainly wasn't a move on there into the final corner, but now in the slipstream of Anel Tanovic. Anel is going to try and go around the outside. He gives Deng the inside line here. Will he be able to make the move stick? Deng, yes he is indeed. But now it's going to be Anel Tanovic with the great run down into turn 4 with the slipstream and the ERS. He's barely got any ERS, and he hasn't been able to make the move down into turn 4 has Anel Tanovic. We could see Deng pull away here. Anel is going to have to do a mighty effort to stay up to the back of Deng, but it looks like Anel's tyres are in a little bit better condition than I thought, as he just needs to try stay within about 6 to 5 tenths of Deng. But with the many straights that we have around here at the Secure International Circuit, you are able to stay with the driver quite easy. So that's exactly what Anel needs to do if he wants to get this second place. But Deng pulling away on this lap from Anel as he ever. And now Anel, he has barely any ERS left, as we now move on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. But as we can see here, Anel is just too far back here to Deng, and now with literally no ERS, he isn't going to be able to do anything. And Deng will certainly be hoping to pull away now on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. And this is certainly where the battle lies for these two drivers. Anel through 7 and now into turn 8. He's doing a good job here, staying with Deng on this final lap. He needs to try and save some ERS, and it looks like he is actually saving a little bit of ERS here, so that when he closes up to Deng once again, which he has through turn 10 there tremendously well, he needs to just try and save that ERS, so when he gets up to the back of Deng, he actually has an opportunity to overtake him, because Deng is certainly not struggling for any ERS there. See, look, he has just about half of it remaining, whereas Anel is probably on about 10 to 15% left. But he's done a very good job on this lap, has Anel, to keep the gap at about the same as we now start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Well, Crowman certainly does, and these two will very shortly. But Anel with a bit of a poor exit out of the final corner. He's going to be a bit too far back into turn 1 to be able to make a move. And as you can see there, running out of electronic energy of the ERS. And now with a bit of a poor exit out of turn 2, he might even be out of the DRS range as we head into turn 4 for the very last time. And it looks like it's just going to be a step and a bridge too far for Anel Tanovic now, as he is out of a second behind Deng. And yep, it looks like it's going to be curtains for that P2 for Anel. Who knows? Deng could put his tyre on the curb here and spin out of the Grand Prix, but I don't think that will happen, as we now have Crowman heading down the final straight before the final corner. As he heads into the final corner very safely, and it is going to be Crowman who takes victory here in Bahrain. A dominant display on that one stop, and he has made it look easy here today. And he's going to finish ahead of ahead of Deng, who had a very good race on that 2 stop, but Crowman was just too quick today with that on that 1 stop. He made it work perfectly, and Anel finishes in 3rd behind Deng after a fantastic battle between the two. Matty, who of course was on pole position, is going to finish in 4th place. Going now is finishing in 5th. That's actually a very good result, because I remember he was down in 7th or 8th, and to finish ahead of Max, who did pit in the end again for some super soft tyres, that is certainly a good result in the end by going. Full Air finishes in 6th, North finishes in 7th, Cully is in 8th, Dino finishes in 9th. He's managed to pick up a couple of points there on 20 lap old medium tyres, so a good result there in the end. Stoke Jacko finishes in 10th, who of course was on the one stop. Tambo finishes in 11th, Max in 12th, Demon in 13th, Jacuzzi in 14th, as he now comes to the line on those very warm super soft tyres. Jason finishes, where did Jason finish? Jason finishes in 15th, the TARDIS in 16th. But wow, what a Grand Prix we had here in Bahrain. That was a fantastic race, as it is Crowman who takes victory here on the one-stop strategy. He played that perfectly, did he? And a fantastic result. And thanks to Murcielago, who was saying in the chat, when you're about to go to sleep but see Niblo commentating. And both of them certainly enjoying the battle between Anel Tanovic and Deng at the end of that race, and I certainly did as well. But that is going to be it from me tonight, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to round 8 of the Flat Out Racing League Championship. It has been a very good race here at the Sakir International Circuit. But of course, I will see you again this time next week for round number 9 of the championship. And I am certainly looking forward to it. But wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, night, or sleep if you are the case of Galactic Skull. And of course, I hope to see you guys later, and bye bye.